Bet 1.4 million from Sergi with the open ender. We can see Scott's not going away here. 2-pair, flush draw, loving life. All right, in action. I'm excited for more Philip Gruesome action, dude. Philip Gruesome should be really entertaining to watch. He was playing really creative. I'm not sure if it was day 1A that we got him on the stream here, or if it was like a high roller or something, but I think it was in this tournament that we got to watch him play. All right, we have Nanad. Going to fold under the gun. Sergi on 22.8 million. That's a lot of chips, man. A lot of room to go there. Scott's going to fold. Alex folds as well. Jonathan, another Canadian, is going to fold. Dinesh. One of our short stacks here on 9 big blinds, looking down at the ace-3. Good play right off the bat. Now, the field number is incorrect. It says here that the field is 135, but we know it's in the money. So there's a maximum of 125. I feel like this graphic is just wrong. But every player should have 20,000 locked up here. Good morning, Jamie. What's up, Boker Dan? Dinesh alt is Nasty Minder. Ah, okay. I play with Nasty Minder for sure. And Scott is Agro Santos. There you go. Definitely some beasts of the game then. Good to know. Scott, who? Scott. Yeah, same table lineup, indeed. Manning's all in with the ace king. Action back on Sergi. Scott Margison is Agro Santos. Okay. Nasty Minder, Agro Santos.
20k. Haven't reached the money on the last hand of last night. Manning will be hoping to get more than that 20k.
9-5 deuce on the flop. Rainbow.
9-5 deuce flop. Not much help towards here.
Manning's going to need an ace or a king, or this is the end of the journey. Not a good start to the day.
10 outs. 1 card to come.
4 clubs. All right.
Wow.
GG. One-handed done. GG to Manning.
Rather than the last hand last night. Of course. No doubt be heading on over to the 10k high roller. 1 million guaranteed. Day 2 starting around about now as well. I believe registration still open. 1 million guarantee on that one.
All right. There you go. Sergey Rexash on 25.5 million after taking down that pot. 127 big blinds. So all players are in the money. We reached the money yesterday on day 2 coverage, so it should be, I think, 20,000 locked up for everyone. But I'm assuming the pay jumps will become more apparent in the overlays for the broadcast soon. So we continue on. Hey, DW Stevie dropping the big old host. What's up, everyone? From Stevie's channel. Did I miss that, bro? I feel like I just totally missed the alert because it was like 2 minutes ago. Stevie, I don't know why I didn't see it, bro, but I appreciate it. Welcome, everyone, from Stevie's channel. We're on no delay. If there's anyone in my channel, I mean, we just got started, but the few of you that are here, if any of you haven't had a chance to check out DW Stevie, make sure you do. Go say hey, check out his channel. Really good community over there. Ace with Face, what's up? Good to see you again. WeFR, hello. What's up, Stevie? And Ace Bros. Yeah, man. I don't know why I missed the alert. It's like right in front of my face. I don't know. It just takes a second to get in there, you know? Just takes a moment in time to snap back into it. Snap back into reality. Oh, there goes gravity.
There is a pay jump going at the top 120. So, of course, you see the field size thing, 134 now Mannix left. Of course, it was.
All right, we have Dinesh here, 6 deuce.
Last night, but then 10 players made it through to day 3 from the online day 1 and day 2. Hence, the field has grown in size.
I'll let it go. Philip Gruesome now in the small blind. I like Philip Gruesome's table banter as well. He's kind of a goofball, man, at the table, and I like it. I like it. I'm enjoying it so far. Philip Gruesome's going to shove. Action on the nod now. Canadian looking down at the Jack 10 of diamonds. Now, if there's no payout pressure here, this is like right on the edge. You might actually call. We can see it's basically a flip situation here.
You can see even against the hand Phil has, he's flipping.
That rainbow was crazy, man. So cool from Stocksy LFC. It was pretty wild, right? I saw just an insane double rainbow from end to end right in front of our house, you guys. It was the most crazy rainbow I've ever seen in my life. I put some updates on the gram, but Rebecca took the best photo. There's a video on Twitter as well. We're checking out. He does fold the Jack 10 of diamonds. I think by the book, you probably call it the Jack 10 of diamonds, but I can't fault him for folding here either. It's a pretty small edge. So, yeah. What are they playing? This is the $10,300 Caribbean Poker Party main events. This is day 3 of the coverage, and there's 4 days total. So tomorrow, well, day 4 in the coverage is for the final table. So we're going to do about 4 hours out of the 8 hours of this day 3 coverage and just go through the hands, check it out, see what's going on. That's the plan. Meaning 2 pots of gold. Man, must have been 4, because you can see both ends of both rainbows. It was just so vivid, dude. It was so strong, the colors.
Yeah, the pay jump's not huge, 5k. The next one up to 25k.
Scott's going to fold. Now action on Alex Foxen, who again was the GPI, I think, player of the year last year. Or #1 ranked player in the world.
Pretty gradual. 5k jumps till we get to the business end of the tournament. The final 2 tables. Things start getting serious. Final table guaranteeing 140k, with the winner walking away 1.35 million. Second place also over $1 million in this 10 million guarantee.
Alex raises it up, 425, and folds around to Sergey in the big blind with the 8-6 of clubs. 2-time back-to-back GOP player of the year. There it is. There it is. So, very, very good player. Also in a relationship with Kristen Bicknell, who we watched yesterday on day 2 coverage. That's a poker power couple, if I've ever seen one, man. Sergey's going to call, and the flop is King, King, 10. I would expect Alex to continue here. He's going to have more kings and 10s than Sergey is, raising an early position. Also, not a very good flop for his hand, but he's not going to win by checking back often. So, Sergey having all sorts of junk like Jack 3 suited, right? Like just all sorts of hands, I think it's a good spot for Alex to continue betting. He does, and Sergey folds.
That the big blind has to fold a lot on.
This guy kind of looks like Messi with a goatee. Okay, not really. Not Alex Foxen, the other guy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's some small similarities. I mean, like, it's like 15% Messi. But yeah. Hey, Rebecca.
Hiya.
What's up?
I think I'm getting my car in an hour.
Whoa, car in an hour. Let's go.
So now I need to insure it before I can drive it.
Okay, nice. Get it done.
Okay.
Bangarang. That's exciting. Yeah, man. You're going to be driving to the store in like 3 hours, man.
Yeah, I just said to Chris, should we go to Asda? Because I know it'll be like dark, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know the route and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm scared.
Don't be scared. You've driven for like 20 hours by now. It's exciting. Rebecca's getting her car today, guys. It's fixed. Tight times. All right. Dinesh in the hijack looks down to Jack 9 of hearts. Deciding whether to shove or not. Is going to give it up. Just a few too many chips.
Hijack.
Slight resemblance, yeah. 15%. I'll give you 15% Messi. And then 85%. Maybe like 50% Argentinian and then like 35% Spanish. Is the vibe I'm getting. All right. We're going to do a flop. Small blind versus big blind. It is King, Queen, 6. We can see Scott has flopped the best hand against Sergey. Do you think it's Sergey? Even though it's spelled Sergey and how I speak, do you think it's Sergey? I need some help, chat. Does anyone speak Spanish? How would you pronounce Sergey? Deuce on the turn. Sergey has hit a bottom pair top kicker. We can still see Scott has the best of it, for sure. What's up, LDL? Hello, my friend. Whoa, Sergey. 2 pair on the ends. Nice card. Nice run up. All right. Love your YouTube. Cheers, man. Cheers, cheers. Welcome to the live stream as well.
Doesn't really have many combos of that. He's gone pot on the end.
It's going to bet pot 1 million.
Scott's going to have some 6x's.
Scott. It's got to be a little suspicious. I mean, it's hard to figure out these situations because blind versus blind. There's only 2 players left in the hand. When good players are playing, there's so many hands you can have here, right?
He's going to bet nearly all his kings.
There's not too many folds from either player when it goes limp check. So it's really difficult to narrow it down. It's a lot easier when someone raises in the first position at the table because then you can kind of narrow them down to something more specific. Pretty sure it's G. Sir G. Ah, Sir G. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sergey makes sense. So now we are 7-handed, but I'm sure we'll get another player in soon here. The first couple minutes of our coverage today. Action on Jonathan with the 9-7 of clubs. Let's it go. Dinesh. Also going to fold in a second here. Sergi. There it is. I'm from the Netherlands. Can you please go heads up with Lech Veldhuis and smoke him? Whoa, man. Whoa. Whoa, dude. I can't. I can't. We're on opposite sides of the fence, my friend. I'm party poker team, you know, so I play all my stuff on party, and he's PokerStars team. He's the other side. So there's not a lot of opportunities for us to go heads up and battle, you know. Plus we're friends, but I mean I would battle for banter, of course, too. Live is fun, Jamie. What's up, Jerry B's? Yo, 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 yo. It is fun. All right, let's move this over here. So raising the hijack, call from Sergi. Alex Foxen now in the big blind looking down at ace-9 offsuit. This is not a very playable hand. Like, it's hand he's going to play. Whether he calls or squeezes is up for debate. And I think this is actually a pretty reasonable hand to squeeze. But he just calls. Does not. It's an option to squeeze here because ace-9 offsuit, it's not super playable post-flop. You know, like, suited is a different story. So you can sort of just semi-bluff with these hands at times. But we can see he doesn't need to here. Flops middle pair of 9s, and the nut kicker, and the backdoor ace-high flush draw. Philip Grusom. Oh my goodness. I forgot Sergey has a set. Sergey has a bottom set here. Philip Grusom has the worst of it by far. This could spell trouble for Alex Foxen here. I mean, second pair. It's not going to get out of control, but can't believe I didn't see the Sergey bottom set immediately. Bet of 450,000.
Reasonably small in this kind of texture.
Action back on Alex Foxen with this ace-9. I wouldn't expect him to go anywhere yet, of course. He only has to call 450,000. There's 2.1 million in the middle. Again, he has some good things that can happen on the turn. He's got a pretty decent hand now. It's a call, and Philip Grusom's out of the way. So we're going to go to the turn here, which is a 4 of hearts. Alex Foxen now picks up the nut flush draw along with the second pair, and Sergi with the set still way ahead, crushing, but he's got to be somewhat concerned. Slightly concerned about that card. Some Polish players in the game, not at our feature table. I'm sure there's some Polish players left in the tournament out of the 123 that are left, but not at our table here.
He does decide to check back. Again, it's giving Alex more flushes. It's a card, he's very checking back a lot more.
And a 7 hearts on the end. Oh my god, Alex Foxen has banked it off with the nut flush, and Sergi checking back the turn. It's going to be really tough for Sergi to get away here. Yes, there's 4 hearts on the board, but if Alex doesn't have a heart, you've got the best hand. Alex Foxen checks, though, and now Sergi's probably going to check back here. Probably doesn't think he can get any value from his hands.
Wow, how that pot came in a lot bigger.
Oh. Perhaps a missed opportunity for Alex Foxen. Easy for us to say. You know, we can see the whole cards.
9 wasn't good. Not even close.
There it is. Nice pot as we continue. That's a pretty that hand changed fairly quickly from the bottom set to no good there. We continue on here. Day 3 coverage of the 10,300 Caribbean Poker Party 2019. We are rewatching, doing our own commentary on the events here, giving our own spin on things. So we are live, me and you in the chat, but this tournament is not happening now in the world. Still, if you haven't seen it, I haven't either. It should be interesting to watch. Should be fun. We are going to be playing some online poker later tonight as well, if you're wondering that. We had the Twitch open tonight, so about 4 hours of live coverage, and then I think the online version. Folds around to Scott with the King Queen on the button. It's going to raise it up to 450,000. Alex quick folds. Jonathan looking down at the Ace-8. Probably a playable hand here. You're in the big blind. You're only going to call an extra 250,000 to see a flop. So why not? Why not call?
Player with the least live experience at our table. Certainly drawn a tough one for day 3.
Do you think that's a fair check on the turn, being scared of the possible check raise flush from tough spot? That last hand. It's tough to say, man. It's really, really close, I think, between betting or checking. I think it can go either way depending on the opponent.
He's on a bad table. A good flop. 8-4-6. Top pair, top kicker.
So Jonathan has the best of it here. Top pair, top kicker. Scott has missed the board. And I'm curious what Scott decides to do on this board, because he's going to have a lot less of it than Jonathan is. He does go for the check back. He doesn't bet. Turn is a 10
A lot of straight draws
of diamonds. So Jonathan still has the best hand.
come out with a bet now.
It's not his favorite card in the deck, but he's not concerned yet. And Scott still doesn't have much.
Need to bet a little bit of protection, certainly for some value on this board.
Thinking about what to do. And I think it's one of those close spots with King Queen. Do you turn your hand into a bluff now? Or do you just check and take another free card? He does check. River's a 7. We can see Jonathan has the best hand here with a pair of 8s ace kicker. Scott has completely missed.
Straight.
Now things get a little bit interesting. If Jonathan checks, Scott can definitely consider turning his hand into a bluff on the river. Seeing 3 checks in a row, and could put some pressure on small pairs and ace highs and stuff. So, I think this is an interesting spot for a Scott bluff. Again, biased being able to see the whole cards here. But I think even if we weren't, it's pretty tough for Jonathan to check a 9 on the river. Most people really don't. You would have heard from like most 2 pairs and sets and stuff like that before now. So I think Scott perhaps could look to turn his hand into a bluff and rep something here. So let's see. He does go for the bet. There it is. Of 2 million? Is that an overbet? No, 950,000. Okay, so he bets basically the pot.
Could have a 9. Both are reasonable.
Bets the pot. Action back on Jonathan now with a pair of 8s. I'm glad to hear my thinking is along the same lines of these good players.
We've got to pair.
That's reinforcing for me. But let's see if Jonathan can sniff out a little bit of a story here.
Jonathan beats
Gives it up.
everything else really.
Just folds. Scott going to scoop up some more chips. It'll take him up to Yeah, 38.5 million, 38.4 million. Hello, hello. Yes, Ed K in the building. Nice bluff. It was. It was indeed. That's one of the hard things about bluffing well, I think, is on each street, you really need to have some bluffs that bluff on the flop, some bluffs that bluff on the turn, and the river. Tony Tran, another player I think we've seen in this tournament thus far, coming to the feature table here with 3.2 million chips. This is just 16 big blinds, so one of our short stacks at the table, but new player at the table as well. But I remember back to, I don't know, like 5 years ago or 4 years ago of playing poker. And like how many times did I check the flop, check the turn, and then have bluffs on the river? I just didn't. I always bluffed earlier in the hand. I just didn't have any bluffs in those situations. I always hit my hand. And it's, I mean, proof that these players are really great, that they're finding like, okay, this isn't a, I'm going to wait to bluff on the third street with this hand as opposed to doing it on the flop of the turn. You know what I mean? I can hear the commentators in the background. Is this streamed anywhere else or just recorded for future release on TV from Mammoth the Great? So originally this was streamed on Poker Go, which had a deal with Party Poker to broadcast events. So it was exclusive to Poker Go for a period of like, I forget how long, basically. So in November, this was broadcast there. And then after it was released to Party Poker, and then Party Poker released it on their YouTube channel. So it hasn't been broadcast on Twitch before. And now I'm just adding my own commentary to it, my own spin in that, you know, if you don't have a Poker Go subscription, you haven't seen it. You might have seen clips on social media or something, but not the whole thing. So yeah. I don't think it's planning to air on like TV in any country. I could be wrong. I think it's just digital, but yeah. All right, Alex Foxen raises it up with the queens, and Dinesh is in trouble here. 1.4 million is not very many chips. He's got a pair on the big blind against the dealer button. This is going to be an all-in call. Nothing Dinesh can do here.
That's exactly what he's doing.
He's using a bit of time.
One away from a 5K jump.
Okay. So he's putting it in one bust out's time.
I'm really curious as to why he's taking so much time. He might be like waiting for a pay jump or something.
Those 5Ks add up.
I think I'm not sure if they are worth more than 5K. I doubt it.
Okay, and there we go. We have an all-in. We have a call. 60 against queens.
Eventually sees the number on the screen. He wanted to see 120.
He said one away from a pay jump. Yeah, that's it. Because the thing is, the pay jump is 5K, but he hit it. The field is down to 120, so he gets an extra 5K if he busts here, and he probably is going to. So it's one of those frustrating things in tournaments where there's a stigma around doing that. But when you break down the math, it's so valuable to take your time in those situations as a short stack. Like, you make so much money for just waiting a minute and a half. And poker hasn't really resolved that situation yet. You know, like the opinions on what is okay and what isn't okay is not very clear there. My opinion on it, as Alex looks to be smashing this, and GG Dinesh, unless it's 6.
One card to come for Dinesh.
Queen is not going to be it. So my opinion on the situation is I don't think you can expect players to self-police themselves to like take a reasonable amount of time and then get it in, because reasonable is different for different people, you know? How much time you're allowed to take trying to hit a pay jump is going to vary. For me, it might be it might be 40 seconds, and for some other guy, 2 minutes might be reasonable. And it's just like, that's unfair, right? The people that are more lenient are getting an advantage. So to me, I think it has to come down to it has to come down to rules. So if someone has a bunch of time banks like that, 6 time banks, and they're all 30 seconds, I think that they should be allowed to use all 6 time banks before they get the money in. And that's not a great viewer experience. That's not a great player experience. But it's just like, you're playing the game as best you can. And I can't fault people for doing that. They're playing within the rules and playing it as best they can. So if you want that to change, I think as a poker player, as a poker community, or as a tournament organizer, you need to adjust the amount of time banks you give and or the time clock. I can't blame people for tanking there. And There's a lot of people that do, but I don't think it's fair. You know?
I can tell you that Alex Foxton's stack now would have been 5th at the start of the day.
Scott's going to fold. Alex in the cutoff is going to fold the 9-4. Jonathan on the dealer button. 8.8 million to start. So he's got some big blinds. He's got some room to maneuver here. 100, 200K with the 200K ante. So 44 big blinds in a stack. Plenty.
44 big blinds deep. Tiny and Phil.
119 left in the fields out of 948 that started. Jonathan goes to the shove. Okay, which means that the 2 players left in the hand. There's actually only 1 player left in the hand, Tony, because the other player just busted.
Pardon me, it's there we go.
Tony calls.
More blind and
We're 15 big blinds with the ace-10, as you do. Very good hand here. We've got an all-in flip situation. I mean, this is just a rotating chair here. People are just busting out of the left side of the table. Let's see if Jonathan can hold with the 5s or if Tony hits one of the ace or the 10s. Basically a flip here.
So Tony snapping off, finding ace 10 in the big as he should. And an
Ace high flop. Tony's hit the ace. Oh, it's a 5. It's a 5 underneath that
looking to be a short
window.
from our feature table.
6 on the turn. No help. Tony is dead. 0% on the turn. GG to Tony. Going out in 119th position. Jonathan picking up a nice pot there. 6.2 million going his way. He'll chip up 3 million up to 12 million now. 12 million. Nice pot. You got to respect the backpack, though. Pretty swag.
Chips as big as
Even if he busted the tournament, it's a nice backpack.
the day with 28 million in chips.
And we're 6-handed again because people just, the chips are flying, dude. Chips are flying all over the place.
Chino Ream at 80 million in the bag. Saw him.
Bleak is owning saying, for a 5 to 10% profit increase in your potentially last hand, it weighs 3-5 minutes guaranteed. I mean, of course it's smart because the spot comes up once in a tourney, especially with the time bank implementation. It's within the rules for sure. Yeah, man. I'm with you on that. Oh, this is Cranberries, dude. This is Ice Splash Cranberries. That's who it is. I remember now. I knew I recognized him, and I was like, who is it? He was in my Ultimate Sweat competition. You'll see him in the chat, I'm sure, at some point today, too. The guy in Seed 8 is Ice Splash Cranberries on Twitch. But yeah, it's frustrating, man, because there's a lot of social pressure in that situation, right? Like, if we go back 10 years in poker, like, it was very not okay to waste time or to tank on the bubble or to tank in satellites was very looked down upon. And that line has blurred over time as people have just gotten better at poker and been like, well, you're telling me to make a bad move and it's within the rules. Like, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's still not resolved. Like, we're not really talking about it, but it's not resolved yet. If you don't do these things, you're losing money. You are, dude. And that's the thing, right? Like, tanking a minute, even if it's just in that spot, it's a $5,000 pay jump. Even if he only hits the pay jump by tanking, let's say 20% of the time, it's $1,000 in equity. So the way I calculate it is like 2 minutes of your life and everyone's life, and you're gaining 1,000. So you times it by 30. I mean, your hourly on that tank is 30,000 an hour. Just on that instance, that specific decision, you're making $30,000 an hour doing just that. It's incredibly important. But I don't know if people think like that, you know? Yeah, and 1/10 of the time you're making $15,000 an hour. If you're actually laddering 10% of the time. It's a lot. Anyways, we have Ice Splash Cranberries Jonathan against Sergi. We go to the flop here. Jonathan flopping top pair, top kicker. Sergi with the underpair. Goes check to the turn, which is the ace of diamonds. Dream card for Jonathan, but we can see Sergi still doesn't have much. Try not to think about the amount because most of us don't play these 10Ks and get these spots too often. It's not often you're tanking for a time, yeah, for a pay jump in a 10K. True. That's true. But I mean, I think the point, how much money it's is on the line is illuminating. You know, it's like it showcases to someone that may not understand. They're just like, oh, I don't want to wait for 2 minutes. That sucks. But it showcases like how much pressure there essentially is in that spot to actually wait from a math point of view. But you're right. Jonathan wins that pot up to 12.8 million. 12.8 million, man. We have 2 open seats at the table, 6-hander right now. As our table has been doing its job, busting players out of this tournament. Day 4 tomorrow is the final table, so unless I'm mistaken, I think it's going to go from 115 players left right now to 8. Unless, I don't know, maybe we start tomorrow with like 16 or something, but I'm pretty sure we're going to eliminate 90% of the field today, which is surprising. Can't tell you for sure. Unless I'm missing a day or something. Maybe I'm missing a day 4 for day 5. Let me see if I can find out. Did they not upload a day or something? I play incredibly fast during tourneys, so condoning tanking is directly against my own style. Needless to say, I need to slow down because of what Jamie was talking about. Yeah, man. Here's a frustrating thing, though, man, and I don't know how to solve this. But it's like, let's say when you're approaching the bubble, and you're in, like, the bottom 20% of the field, or the bottom even 30%. The more hands you play, the less good it is for you, because you're just going to get more and more situations where the hands are negative for you. So where is the line drawn for playing slowly, approaching the bubble as a shorter stack? Not one that's at risk, but a shorter stack. Like, that's what we're going to come up to here. Because if poker was played mathematically correctly, then every short stack would be using the maximum amount of time allotted to them leading up to the bubble. And the big stacks would be playing as fast as possible because they're putting the pressure on. Shot clocks is the answer. It's true. But, like, you see great players, you see some of the best players. No one's actually slowing down their play in exorbitant amounts leading up to the bubble. So there's that social pressure there where we play poker incorrectly because it's kind of not socially accepted to be that analytical about it. It's interesting. But yeah, shot clocks is the answer. You're right, man. Like, shot clocks are essential moving forward in the poker world, I think. Let me see what this is, man.
No joy from the small. Okay, ace 4.
Okay, so we don't actually play till the final table today. I've looked forward into the future. In this broadcast, we don't get all the way to the final table. But I think we get down to like 24 or something like that. Anyways. Alex Fox and opens. Sergey calls in the big blind, and it is a 9-6-3. Both players have missed. We can see Alex has a slight advantage here with the 7 kicker. I mean, a pretty big advantage, to be honest. They're going to split 16% of the time. Alex would win 70%, and Sergey just 14%.
Alex is going to stab at this one.
Continuation bet. Sergey has one of those hands that's just like almost, but not quite. You know, he doesn't quite have a straight draw, but there's a lot of cards that give him one on the turn. A 7, a 5, a deuce. He has ace high, but it's like not a very good ace high. It gets a hijack raise, which is different than the button. It's like an almost hand. So sometimes you can get creative in spots like these, but then I think the standard is just to kind of fold like he did. There you go.
Fresh blood.
All right, we have a new player, Thomas Kubaliak from, is it Slovakia or Slovenia, man? I feel like it's Slovenia. Or is it Slovakia? Man, they're so similar. The two flags are similar. I think it's actually Slovakia. But we'll see in a second when we get the flag again.
Oh, the wall of Foxton is back in action.
Alex Fox, I'm going to raise again with a queen 10 under the gun. I splash cranberries. Jonathan under the gun +1. Looking down at trash. Gives it up. That is Slovakia. Slovak. Do you think shot clocks could have different times for pre-flop bets, flop bets, turn bets, and river bets? I think that's a great idea. GPB36. The thing that's difficult about shot clocks is the dealer training. Like, if you make it too complex, then it's just like you're adding barriers of entry to actually dealing poker tournaments. But no, I think that's a good idea. Like, pre-flop 15-second shot clocks are pretty reasonable. You know, or even like 10-second shot clocks before someone raises. And if there's a raise or a 2-bet, then all of a sudden the shot clock goes back to 30 seconds. You know? Like, yeah, there's ways to manipulate there. I think that's a good idea. You wouldn't want it to be too complex for the dealer's sake, though, right? Change on buy-ins. I think that's also no-brainer, too. I think you should give more time for the more serious the tournament is. I would say, like, seriousness, which generally correlates with buy-in, but not always. You know, like a 25K one-day high roller at one of these stops, they might want to play faster than you would in, like, the 10K World Series of Poker main event, where you want a bit more time. But I'm kind of with you on that, too, yeah. How much does the table pace get determined by the dealers? Not much at all, to be honest. I mean, there's not a lot. The dealer can be quick shuffling the cards and, like, moving the chips around, and can be more explicit with, like, their prompts, like it's your turn. You know, some dealers, especially in cash games, will, like, actually point at whose action it is. You know, or, like, they'll move their body to, like, signal, like, we're on you or we're on you. So you can, like, adjust that. But dealers can't just be like, they can't prompt you to play faster. It's kind of on players to do that. Jonathan folds back on Tomas with the ace-10. Gonna give it up. Couldn't play that one. It's close, I think, with the ace-10 there. 25 big blinds. Does elect to fold. John the American, new player to the table with the 10-9 of clubs. Gives it up.
John having quite a year. Coming down here to Palmer's. Trying to pick up 1.35 million.
Good tank makes good TV. Yeah, it makes a bad live stream. It makes a good TV show, though. You're right, my friends. You're right. And, I mean, I'm not going to call any names, but, like, there's definitely poker players in the old guard that knew how to get their TV time, you know? The poker players you saw on TV, there's a few of them that just live in the moment of, like, having a dramatic spot, tanking it up more than they need to. They already know what they're doing, but they're tanking it up. They're humming and hawing. They're getting the attention. They're increasing the spotlight. Like, they know what they're doing, man. You know? I don't think that's necessarily true in these live streams. At least you don't see it anymore, but yeah. It's the same thing too. When I play on live streams, I'm not scheming like that to try and get more TV time or airtime or anything. But I will talk through, like, I'll be more audible with my decision making. You know, if I get to a river spot, instead of just, like, shutting up, I'll, like, talk it through, like, what's going on here? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, here's what I'm thinking, but I'm not sure about this. Like, I'm basically announcing for the people that are watching the live stream so that they can follow a little bit as to what's happening. So there's a level of that, you know. A lot of players at High Stakes Poker definitely did that. It was a nice show, though. It was a good one, man. I was a big fan of the big game. Was my favorite, actually. My favorite show on TV when I was first getting started was the big game cash game. 100K buy-in, pot limit. Six-handed. Amanda Letterman was the host of that show. And I think Joe Stapleton and Jimmy Fricke worked on it. Negreanu played a lot of episodes. Perkins played in an episode. Helmuth played in an episode. Lex played in an episode. That was a great show, man. Really enjoyed that one. Anyways, Scott's going to raise it up with a 7-3 of diamonds on the button. Our friend of the stream, Jonathan, calls in the big blind with the Jack-10. Loose cannon always. Yeah, Cordy B was a loose cannon. Party Poker Team Online, Cordy B was a loose cannon. Go to the flop, 9-8-4. Pretty good flop for Cranberries here with the open-ender. Scott has missed, but let's see how he elects to play this. Tony G was on a bunch of those. That's true, man. Yep. You had Vanessa Selps. You had Antonio Esfandiari and Phil Locke on one. You had Gentili on one. You didn't get Ivy in that one. You didn't get Durr. Didn't get Isildur. You got Brunson on one. Barry Greenstein. Yeah, man, it was a great lineup. I really enjoyed that show. I'd love if I could do commentary on that show, but I don't think I can. I'll have to do commentary on the shows that Party Poker has rights to, and then they'll probably let me, like, well, I'm assuming they'll let me recast it on Twitch and, like, give thoughts. If they're releasing it openly on YouTube, I assume they're cool with that, you know? Galfond, was he on one? I remember Ansky was on. I don't remember if Galfond was on one or not. That show still even run. Yeah, I don't know. William Reynolds, yep. Yeah. Great show, man. All right, so anyways, picking up the action, though, Ice Splash Cranberries, friend of the stream, has the nuts. And Scott here has picked up a flush draw. So this could get dicey. Hopefully, Cranberries just gets a big old double up here or something, you know?
Really pressure a 9 or an 8.
Scott's going to continue. Bets 1.5 million
5 million is the bet.
into 2 million, so about 75%.
Jonathan got a call or raise. How's the jack of diamonds? It blocks some of those double barrel bluffs. But that's exactly what Scott has, a double barrel bluff. Certainly worthy of a time bank chip. 3/4 pot bet.
So I wonder if Cranberries just calls here or raises,
I
like...
think for a call here, Scott's going to have a lot of bluffs.
It's pretty interesting.
And a value bet. Still a lot of hands on the river.
He's just going to call, it looks like.
He may be able to get away from check raises.
Let's see what the river is here. Jack of the river.
That's a disaster.
Okay.
For Jonathan.
This is not a great card for Jonathan. I mean, he still has the straight. Still loves his hand. But you can probably assume he's going to get a little bit less value now that there's 4 cards just straight out there. Scott has missed, so hopefully
For a 10 in it.
Scott gets a chance to bluff into our friend of the stream, and Jonathan wins a big pot. So, yeah, he does check over. Actions on Scott to decide whether he wants to bluff or not.
Big bet.
Scott's last name,
Job done is what he's thinking.
this is Agro Santos. Someone told us earlier in the chat. Agro Santos online. So a very accomplished player. Marginson or Marginson, I think. Cynical go.
Any 10x of diamonds.
But a very good poker player, for sure. You played with him at the Aussie Millions recently. Plays the big stuff.
He's gone 2 million.
And here comes the bet. 2 million. Action back at Jonathan now, who has to decide. Oh, just calls. Okay, no raise.
Could have raised there, but
No raise, just calls.
of course, so fine.
Could consider a raise for what it's worth, but probably isn't going to get called by a worse hand than a straight there. I mean, he only loses to King 10. But then is he getting called by a set if he raises? Maybe. You could consider a raise for what it's worth. I think they might be cold. They're both covering their mouths. Lull. Sack. I don't know what it is about live poker, man. It's just it's in vogue. It's in style to cover up the neck, cover up the mouth, like just protect your breathing, you know, show everything like this. Sometimes you got scarves. Sometimes you got like big weird looking hoodies, man. Oversized hoodies. You got this. Sometimes you got this, the hand across. I don't know why, man. I don't know why all these things exist. In my opinion, is it's better to be on the offensive. Instead of like being on the defensive, trying to hide, You be the one trying to pick up the info. Make them hide. That's how I approach it. The hand across just happens. The other things are ridiculous and idiotic. Just tiny P. Yeah, it's random, man. Certain things are in vogue. Alec Foxen has the ace king on the dealer button. 20 million. What do you like more, being a Twitch streamer or being a poker player? They're one and the same for me at this point. River suck out. So I don't want to do either without each other. You know? At one point in life, I could do one or just the other. But for the short term, I don't really want to do either without, you know, without doing both. So I don't have an answer to that. That'd be like, who's your favorite child? I don't have one. Yeah, they're both everything. They're both everything. What's up, Arnold SFC? Hello, hello, hello. What's up, guys? He asked, chat. Tell Arnold what's up, man. Next time I play live, I think I'm going to wear a bathrobe at the table. Give it a go, Sack. Why not, man? Why not? Next week, Jamie announces he'll be streaming Fortnite exclusively. Damn. Watch out, Fortnite community. Here we come. Action continues here. Philip Gruesome under the gun with the Queen 8. It's going to be a fold. We're down to 105 left in this field out of 948. Nanad under the gun +1. It's going to go for the all-in shove here. Has 1.2 million. This is only 6 big blinds, 6.5 big blinds here. Doesn't have any time to wait, so definitely an all-in shove. See if he gets it through or not. We all know Chris is the favorite child, Lamau. Tomas from Slovakia looking down at the ace-deuce. Going to give it up, not quite. And now John in the big blind with sevens. That's a call.
A fair fight.
That's a call. King Jack against sevens. We've got a flip situation here. The sevens have a slight advantage, 53% to 46% of the nod with some rounding errors. And I mean, I love them both, but I got to root for my countryman, Nanad here, man. It's a sweaty flop. All right, Queen 9-4, 2 diamonds. Nanad has 10 outs here, about 40% by the river. King, Jack, or 10. 5 on the turn of no help. Just a King, Jack, or a 10. 23% for Nanad. 6 on the end, and that is good game. John has knocked out Nanad. Scoops up a pretty big pot. Nanad will go home in a 105th position. GG. Nanad Medic. I've heard his name a lot. I don't really know why. Do you guys know Nanad Medic's story? I'd love some more info if you have it. There it is, 6.5 million. Nice chip up. Needed.
Now they're finishing in 125k. We are getting close to that K jump. 96 is the next 5k jump.
Action continues here. If you guys are just tuning in, so we're watching the 2019 Caribbean Poker Party main event, $10,300 buy-in. We're on no delay, me and you in the chat, but this happened in late November. We are going to be playing some online poker tonight, later, in about 3 hours. We're going to do about 4 hours of the coverage today. There's 4 total days of coverage. Well, 5 days of coverage in the tournament. Day 1A, Day 1B, Day 2, Day 3, and the final day, Day 4. This is early Day 3, and we're going to broadcast all of it. We've already done the Day 1A, Day 1B, Day 2. Sergi raises it up under the gun. Get a fold there with the sixes. John looking down at ace-10 suited in the small blind. MD Gorns, what's up, man? Drop the 6-month resub. Jamie, any plans to do commentary on the Run at One's Golf On Challenge? Love to hear you. You're the man. Keep up all the great content. Thank you very much, dude. It'd probably be a bit of a conflict of interest, right? Like I'm hoping for Phil and I'm interested in following, but I'm sponsored by Party Poker and working on growing Party Poker. So for me to basically be promoting, run it once on another site probably isn't a great thing for me to do, or in good faith, If I was a free agent, I would, because I think it's interesting and I like Phil and I really hope he's successful over the challenges, but I don't think it would be fair to Party Poker to do that, But definitely check it out. It's interesting stuff. The Galfond Challenge.
Ace, 8, 3.
Sergey's going to bet with the King Queen here.
Sergey checking. Pardon me, Sergey. Continuing with a bet.
Nanad Medic, 4.7 million in wins with 1.7 million win in the 10K WPT Championship event. No Limit Hold'em 2006 World Poker Finals. Meshen Tuckett, I believe it was televised. Okay, cool. There's the Nanad Medic story. Glad to see you still at it, man. 2006 champion for 1.7 million, still out here battling. Sergey bets, and it's going to be a fold. All right. Easy enough. Take it down for Sergey. On a pretty nice stack, 24 million. I mean, you start this tournament with 1 million starting chips, right? So I always think about how many times starting stacks, how many lives do I have in my stack right now? He's got 24. No, it has a wiki page. Oh, nice. All right, sweet. Serbian professional poker player, World Series of Poker bracelet, and a World Poker Tour Championship title. Lives in Niagara Falls, Ontario. Played basketball, University of Waterloo. Caribbean Poker Adventure in 2005. 2006, he made the final table of the Aussie Millions, finishing third. World Poker 2 Finals in 2007, final table for 500K. And he won the 10K Pot Limit Hold'em World Championship in 2008 for 800,000. He's doing it, man. Nanad Medic is doing it. I respect it. But he's gone now. Sorry, Nanad. Moving on, Tomas is gonna raise it up. I feel like with no H is Tomas, right? 450,000 here. Philip Gruesome in the small blind, who's been pretty quiet so far. Probably doesn't want to be quiet.
Thomas raising ace 10 from the cutoff. Phil with king 8 off in the small. It's like he's thinking about doing something.
Matty Wee, I don't know what those those punctuation marks on top of the A or the S sound like. I've never seen them, but I've seen them. I don't know how they work though. Am I doing it right, the Tomas, or am I doing it wrong? Philip Gruesome is going to put in the 3-bet here. This is a pretty wild hand to 3-bets. Definitely not what you'd expect to see. It's pretty crazy. I feel like Philip Gruesome just wants to get involved. We saw him play earlier in this tournament and was very aggressive, so I feel like he's just, itching to get in there. I don't know. It's more like Tomash.
Nicely done by
Tomash. Okay. The S is pronounced like sh, so Tomash. Okay, thank you. Thank you, man. Tomash. All right, killing it. Chat, I love it. Philip Gruesome takes it down with the 3-bet. 23.5 million. Eyeing up his new competitor, moving into his left. Who's it going to be? Try my name in Gaelic, which is Dathy. I don't know, man. I don't know, Balloon. Gaelic terrifies me. I don't even know where to start with Gaelic. Raise up from Alex Foxon under the gun. Jonathan's going to fold the 10-7. Tomash. We're killing this. He's going to fold. Fold as well from John with the ace-3 on to Philip Gruesome. Jack-7 in the cutoff. Eyeing him down. Philip Gruesome, I can just tell. I can tell looking at Philip Gruesome right now. He's feeling frisky. He's ready to play. He's not interested in folding anymore, man. Staring people down with the Jack-7 offsuit. Folds all the way around to Scott in the big blind, who has 8-6. There's a new player there in the Burgundy. I didn't get the name, but we'll see in a second. And it looks like Scott's going to call here. There it is. 2 a flop. Some pretty deep stacks. 100 big blinds and about 170 or so. 165. Flop is ace-jack 4. Good flop for Alex Foxen. And Scott Markinson has nothing. Probably just going to go bets fold here, I'm assuming. Bet fold. There it is. Nice pronunciation on the name Tomasz. Probably the best pronunciation from a foreigner that I've ever heard. Well, I just learned. If you missed it, I literally just learned in the chat. Mark Lange. Now, see, I need a German now. Mark Lange is coming in. 17 million chips, 88 big blinds. Plenty. Brand new player to the table. I mean, yeah. You guys can help me with pronunciations. This is great because the chat is from all around the world. So when we have people from different countries, you can help me say it correctly. I think I got Jonathan down. Tomasz, we're good. John, got it sorted. Philip Gruesome, nailed it. Mark, easy days. Sergi, crushing it. King Jack, probably going to be a play. We got Matt Weiber, my friend Matt Weiber in the house. 58-month resub. Get some love of the chat for that 58-month resub, dude. Thank you very much, Matt. Welcome back to the team, dude. Matt is the guy that helps me keep finances in order for the accountant. And Matt is also waiting for my finances. I'm streaming, Matt. Please, just let me, hold on a second, man. I'm streaming. I'll get them to you soon, dude. I promise. Thanks for the 58 months. Appreciate it. Welcome back to the team. All right, so we're going to a flop. King Jack for Sergi against Alex Foxen's 10-9. 10-5 deuce. This is a good flop for Alex. Good flop for Alex. Now, does Sergi elect to bet or not? Both players pretty deep. I think the standard is to bet with King Jack. I'd bet with King Jack. See what he decides to do, though. I'd bet like 350,000.
10 deuce 5 sees a C bet.
He's gonna bet 400K.
So go with 2 overs and a heart, and it's top pair and a heart. Both very good hands here.
Alex Foxen thinking about it. Could raise, could also call. You want to raise some top pairs, but probably not yet. There's 103 left. Tarenti 12-1. 103 remaining. King on the turn. This spells disaster for Alex Foxen. Sergi now taking the lead with a pair of kings, and the jack kicker also has a jack of hearts as some backup. Alex has the 9 of hearts, so it's not good if heart comes for Alex. Let's see if Sergi elects to bet again with his hand or check with a very protected hand going to the river, right? There's almost no bad cards for King Jack with the jack of hearts. He is going to go for another bet, though, which we can see is good. 1.3 million. All right. Sizable bet on the turn. Action back on Alex now with this 10-9. 9 of hearts. I think the standard is to call. We can see that a fold would be exceptional, but I think given the information that Alex Foxen has, probably has to at least call here on the turn.
Can't see Alex doing anything calling with this hand.
It'd be pretty amazing if he can get away here. He does call. Okay. His pot is ballooning up now. 4.5 million in the middle. We're going to go to the river here. 3 of clubs, a total brick, and an interesting card. Sergi. Can he find another value bet with the pair of kings and the jack kicker here? And if he does, can Alex Foxen call with the 10-9? Could go either way for Sergi.
There are some better hands out there, of
I think there's some value to be had. I would bet. It's so easy. We can see the cards. It's so easy to make these proclamations. You know, we're not the ones playing here. $2 million into $4 million. $2 million into 4.5. This is a bet of like 43% or something. It's not a lot.
Such a tough spot for Alex.
It's pretty small. I'm a little surprised at how small it is too. It looks pretty value heavy to me. I would have bet more, like 3 million or something. I'd check because I'm a chicken. I don't want to get blown off. Yeah, man. I hear you. I mean, there's definitely, I would want that. I would want to do that too. I'd have to fight myself to do something else.
Is a good one.
Having a rough day on the felt. Please say some magic words to turn this day around.
Flushes.
Hero folds.
Doesn't.
Got you, bro. Just hero folds. You got it, man.
Like if he had the jack.
You've got it, Matt.
That'd be a much worse situation. As those are the kind of cards he wants Sergei to fire twice with. Good hand, say like Jack 8, Jack of Hearts. Much more natural bluff on the turn. Queen Jack.
We are not at the final table. We're down to 101 players out of the 948 that started. So the final table starts in the day 4 coverage. We're beginning of day 3 here. Good afternoon, Jamie. What's up, Kutsin? What's up? What's up? Welcome.
Good fold.
Good fold from Alex Foxen with the 10-9. Good fold there. Really impressive.
Not easy.
Nonetheless, Sergi picking up some chips up to 26 million. What are those cards he keeps throwing in? Those are time bank cards. So this tournament, there's a time bank or a time clock. I think it's, I don't know if it's 30 seconds or 15 seconds or what. And each player has a certain amount of time cards that if they want to take more time, they have to throw it in, and then they get to extend their time. Here's a look at our chip counts. Scott Margerson
Mishap again.
is in the lead of the table with 32.6 million. Sergi on 26 million. Philip Grusom on 23. Alex Foxen on 19.3. Mark Lange on 17 million. Jonathan Kozel on 17 million. Friend of the stream, Jonathan Kozel. John Gorsuch on 6.4. And Tomasz Kabaliak on 4 million, our short stack from Slovakia. So that's sort of the breakdown. Very interesting table. You know, 3 of the top 4 are really big names and like notable names in the poker world. So pretty interesting. Blinds are up to 125K, 250,000 as well. Blinds are going up. Managed to get through the phase 1 and 2 into day 1, 14 to 66 with 1.2 million chips. UK Wizard, nice, dude. Which tournament again? That's awesome. Got the payouts, Jim Jam. I don't have them specifically here. I think everyone's about 25K. I'll definitely have the payouts for tomorrow when we're down to the final 24 to a winner. Or not tomorrow, but like for day 4 coverage. But I think it's about 25K for each player. Now John's going to raise it up. Action on Mark now with 5s in the hijack. Just lets it go. And I can understand letting you go with 5s because you have a really tough lineup behind you of exceptional players. So you don't necessarily want to... you're going to get squeezed off your hand a decent amount. You're also playing against an opponent that has 24 blinds. So you're not going to get paid that much when you flop your set compared to all the times you don't and you just have to fold. Jonathan, the big blind, looking down at the Jack 9 of diamonds, is going to call. Going to call. 1.475 in the million. We're going to a flop, which is Queen 10-7. Very interesting flop here. John has missed the flop. He has ace high. He has a gut shot. He has a backdoor flush draw. And Jonathan, I Splash Cranberries, has an open ender. Feels so good to talk to you without a delay. Matty Wee. It's the same for me, dude. I so wish we could stream poker with no delay. It'd be amazing. Good luck tomorrow, Jamie. Non-Mon the City from Accordy. Tomorrow's a big day. Start a KO series on Party Poker. We got some big events coming up. It's gonna be a lot of poker tomorrow, man. Looking forward to it. So we're definitely gonna stream tomorrow, and I'm hoping that I might be able to put in a little stream Tuesday night, maybe, but then definitely Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week as well for KO series. All right. 3 of clubs with the churn. Still 2.5 million in the pot. Interested to see if Jonathan elects to bluff here or not. Oh, that was in reference to Spurs playing Man City tomorrow. Ah, yeah. I won't be able to watch that on TV, unfortunately. I'll have to be watching it sort of on the side as I play because of that KO series. But, yeah. I mean, fingers crossed, dude. It's a big match. It'd be really great if we could win.
John going to fire again here.
Be really great.
Those straight
I'm looking forward to the Southampton replay as well on Wednesday because I'll be able to watch that one. I'll be able to watch that match, so that'll be good. The Party Poker Million. Oh, great. UK Wizard. Awesome, dude. Good luck in that. Jonathan checks, and now John's going to bet 1.1 million. So this has put Jonathan in a pretty difficult spot, right? Because he's getting a bit better than 3-1 odds. What that means, I mean, 1.1 million he has to call to win 3.5 million. But he doesn't have a ton of outs. He has 8 outs. 8 outs have about 18% going to the river there. So the price does not dictate a call. But then there's other factors too, which is like, do I get paid when I hit my hand? Can I bluff at all? You know, are there more outs than just the straight draw? Could I hit a jack or a 9 to make the best hand? It's really tough to say. Really only has 4 outs in reality. Yeah, I forget what the thing was, but would he have been dominated with one of his straight draw outs by a better straight? So yeah, it's a tough calculation as to whether you continue there, which is, I kind of like bluffing on the turn with the Jack 9, like betting as opposed to checking, because it just sucks to check fold the open ender. But one of the things that again works against him is you have a raise from early position and a check back. You don't expect too many folds. All right, we have Mark here with the 9s.
Mark, min raising 9s plus 2.
All right, well, that's an easy take it. There you go. That's it. You gonna watch the Super Bowl? No, I don't think so. I'll be playing the KO series. Because it starts at 4:30 in the U.S., right? So I think it's a 6-hour difference to Eastern time right now. So it'll be 12:30 midnight. I mean, I could. I don't know. We'll see. Starts at 6:30 U.S. Oh, then it's only 11:30 though. I got the time conversion. EST is 5 hours back from UK. Yeah. Okay, so it's 11:30 then. Here, PM. I'll probably finish my session around 1 or 2. So I could catch the end. I don't know. Yo, Loopy29, right? No delayed dreams, bro. Good to see you.
Next page up coming 96.
Watching day 3 coverage here. Rebecca,
Yeah.
what's going on?
I have the car,
You have the car.
but I've had to insure it for tomorrow because it was an extra £400 to insure it today.
Yikes. Why did they do that? Why?
Because I think like, well, I don't know. It's all a scam in it, but like, they
Yeah.
know if you want it, then you're gonna pay it. But like, I just don't want it.
Scammers, man. A bunch of scammers. Well, tomorrow morning, what is it insured starting at midnight?
Yeah.
Could we drive at midnight to Asda?
I don't know.
We should. Midnight Asda trip. Come on.
I could.
Why not?
I'm scared.
Don't be scared. You know how to drive, man.
I sent you some WhatsApps, but just whenever.
Okay. Cool. We are just watching the day 3 coverage here. We're going to play some tournaments tonight. Are you playing the Twitch Open tonight?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I will play it though.
Sweet.
How long have I got?
3 hours.
Yeah, that's fine.
3.5 hours. 2.5 hours.
I want to make Caesar salad because I haven't eaten yet.
Nice. Enjoy. I'm gonna have some soup at some point. Not yet.
Let me know when you want it and I'll
Yeah.
sort it out.
Cool. Thanks, Abikar. Matt Weiber says hi.
Hi, Matt Weiber.
Again, 9s. Undergun this time.
All right, so we have some payouts courtesy of Ed K. Thank you. 120th to 97th, which is where we are right now, pays 25,000. 96 to 73rd pays 30K. 72 to 49 pays 35K. You can see them in the chat. Exclamation mark payouts. Thank you, Ed, for putting those in there, man. That's awesome.
Both pretty deep. That's correct. Mark has 18. Expecting to raise is pretty hefty. 100 big blinds. Near enough. Effective 90 bigs.
Don't be fucking crazy. He was nice
Looks
when
like
he
he's
went.
going to 1.8. I like this.
But in December,
It's a bit cold. Yeah. It's colder in Prague and in England.
yeah. I am least in Vegas is 7.
All right. What did I miss in action as that was going on? We have a raise from Mark under the gun and a 3-bet from Alex. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Mark. With a pretty nice hand as well with the 9s, you know? Did she say hi back? She did. She did say hi. She did.
Phil with 4s on the big. Can't seem to continue. Undergun raise.
Philip Gruesome in the big blind looking down at the 4s.
No block.
Oh.
Be very out of
Gives
line.
it up. All right. Doesn't want to, but he does.
Gonna have to call this 1.3
He does.
with pocket 9s.
Action now back on Mark with the 9s. This is a really tough spot, you know? This is quite a big 3-bet. But with 9s, you need to at least call here. You can't have folds. Like, it's very playable. Mark is going to call. So we're going to go to a flop. 4.2 million in the middle. And the flop is King, Jack, 4. Both players happy.
Save him doing any more.
Mark can probably easily get away from his hand here. Alex Foxen with the aces.
Alex is going with
Gotta feel good.
having 3-bet against the undergun.
You know, you're not really worried about kings. Your opponent could have jacks, but it's so much more likely they have ace king,
King aces.
even king queen suited, queens,
Plus he wants to put him
than set of jacks. So not enough to be concerned about here.
ace 5 suited. Backdoor flush draws.
At a 1.6 million from Alex. And I think Mark can get away. I mean, this is a really bad flop in a 3-bet pot. So I think this is a fine fold.
All his Broadway combos can continue.
The pocket fours folded. Yikes. True. I didn't even think about that, Jaseri. That is true, man. That's true.
Players discussing the length of the
Yeah, I heard about the side bet PokerStars thing. I haven't seen it in action, though, Cordy, so I can't really comment.
schedule calls for 8 levels, but I imagine I'm going to need to play more than that.
What do you think about players wearing sunglasses at the table? I'm fine with it being allowed. I don't have any issues against people wearing sunglasses. It's not something that I choose to wear when I'm at the table because I don't feel any need to hide. I would rather be the one on the aggressive side, you know? Most players just try and shell up. They try and make themselves small. They try and not give off anything. Why not just be on the other side and like try and gather information yourself, you know? Easier said than done, I think, in that I'm fairly experienced at like being on camera by this point and like being under the spotlight. So it comes a little bit more naturally to me personally of being normal in a pot and being able to talk with someone and like, or not shell up. But yeah, I don't find the need for sunglasses or anything like that.
MX raising +2, unseen hand, but it's going to get through. Yeah, looking at the schedule, level 8 today would be the 500k 1 million level, which would mean there's still 950 ones.
Did you guys see the double rainbow on my Twitter this morning, man?
From the final table.
It's out of control. Out of control. Any advice for starting to multi-table from Peter Cooper? Take it slow. I started with one table. One table was overwhelming. I was like, damn, there's so many things to think about with one table, right? Like, oh my God. And then went to 2 tables, which was overwhelming,
Exclusive.
and then it was fine. And then it was underwhelming, where I was like, I'd kind of like to add another table. And then I went 4, and that was hard, and then, you know. So yeah, it's just like slowly progress. It's going to be a little bit overwhelming for the first time, and then it'll get more comfortable,
Next event.
I'd say.
Far away.
So,
Early
yep.
January. Millions UK at Dust or Dawn in Nottingham.
A rainbow was crazy. I stay in Scotland and never seen anything like that. It was super weird, man, because the sky was very dark. It's like, wow, what a storm coming. But it was just mist, which is what created the rainbow. It wasn't really raining at all. It was just like moisture-filled mist. I couldn't believe it. So weird.
That's why they're double checking.
I definitely thought that clip had a chance of of getting out there, dude. I thought it might blow up. Because I was just so hyped, dude. I was really hyped about it.
Go, of course, that loss.
It's an incredible thing to see.
Jack 4. Phil did, in fact, fold 4s. Would have fought the set.
Well, you can fold if you want, but you're going to lose the chips.
Ah. Mark has called here from the small blind without realizing Scott has raised. So now,
That's how poker gets you into.
just another 300k. Effectively calling from the big blind, I think, has to continue here. Albeit more likely to be 3-way.
You can still fold. You can still fold.
But enough in
So, we have a raise to 550,000 from Scott.
Sergei.
A call from Mark of the small blind with 4 deuce of hearts, which is very random here, by the way. This is very interesting.
Big blind. Biggest card to 10.
And then Sergi's going to call as well. But I'm just, why did Mark call with the 4 deuce of hearts? I don't get it personally.
Pair and flush draw for Scott.
Seems like such a random hand.
Mark misses as does Sergei.
Check, check. Action backs on Scott, who has middle pair and a diamond draw.
In a normal sense, the small blind is weaker. The small blind is weaker than in a normal hand, of course, having misclick forward.
10 of the turn. Great card for Scott. He's got 2 pair now.
Scott improves to 2 pairs. Sergei.
Sergi now has a open ender
Mark.
in the big blind.
Swallow his pride. Give
Mark
this one
still has nothing.
up.
But I mean, did call with 4 deuce in the small blind, so you never know. You never know.
Sergei. I'd be happy to try and check this one. Get to the river. Hands expect Scott to fold on the turn. That many's open under gun. Bit of nonsense, but he's gonna give it a go. And at least he's going big. Stop any straight draws calling. Certainly any gut shots calling.
Okay.
That's a
Bet of
big line,
1.4
of
million from Sergi with the open ender. We can see Scott's not going
course.
away
Five
here.
on Diamond River.
2 pair, flush draw, loving life. Probably not worth raising, right? If he raises and gets re-raised, he's going to be playing against a better 2 pair or a set or a straight or something. But your hand is very strong. And he does indeed just call. Mark's going to fold. So we go to the river here. 7 of hearts.
Wouldn't you know it? 7 on the river.
Sergi has made a straight. Scott no longer has the best hand here. Tough one for Scott. Such a good flop. Such a good turn. And disaster on the river.
Misdraws to represent him. This time, certainly.
Can he get away from his hand? Probably not.
9x.
Just to like 1 bet? Probably not.
1.6 million bet. Really hard.
Sergi does go for the bet of 1.6 million. Action now on Scott. It is about 4-1 odds here. That's the problem, right? He's got to have the best hand 20% of the time to make this a break-even call.
Flash, block bet.
So even if he thinks, hey, 1/3 of the time I've got, he's bluffing me. I got the best of it. He's making money. That's the thing. That's why it's such a difficult spot to get away from your hand here. So I do think he has to pay the 10-8 of diamonds. But he's going to lose if he does, so let's see. I don't know. Maybe he can get away. It'd be incredible if he could.
Scott check back. Flop, cool turn. What stronger hands does he have here, other than a 9? I'd argue not many.
You have Sergi, who we've all agreed is about 15% messy. Wow, what a fold, Scott!
Right.
You're a beast, man. How does he fold the 2 pair? What a sicko. What a sicko.
Made 2 good folds to
Sergi chipping up to 28.5. Scott folding 2 pair. What a legend, man. I don't fold there. That's crazy. Whew. If you could make a sound effect for your life right now, what would it be from Matt Weiber? I think it would be, you know, like in the old movies. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see.
Very lucky player. No 7 of diamonds, no queen of diamonds. No 7 of diamonds or queen of diamonds.
And the 9 of diamonds.
That's not it.
I'm very lucky lately. Yeah.
The sound effect would be the steam that is released on a steam train
Tomas limping in.
following the whistle going off. That would be it, man. That'd be the sound effect of my life currently.
Odd decision.
Right after you blow the whistle.
Still 7-8 of clubs, gonna overlimp.
The point is, we're doing things, man. We've got
so
things in
bad.
production. Things are
Same
moving.
club.
We're in action. But there is a lot of pressure that needs to be released. we are doing lots, man. And there is pressure built up. You got to release the pressure at times, man.
This is our guy, complete 6 deuce of hearts from the small.
That would be the sound effect of my life currently. Good question, Matt. Would you ever agree to a 25K hands heads up? I would have to... Like, today, no. Because that's a long time. And I don't play heads up. I mean, I have played heads up. I try and win tournaments, which is heads up. But I'd have to practice. I'd have to learn so much, you know. Spend so much time. Okay, we're 5 ways to the flop. Look at these little cards for ants over here on the left.
Scott checking ace 3 in the big queen at
Queen
9,
9-6 on the
6,
flop.
2 diamonds.
So Philip has an open ender. That's immediately what stands out to me, but I got to go through all the hands here. Sergi has a pair of 6s. Someone's got something better. Mark has the nut flush draw. Mark's feeling good. Tomasz has a bottom pair with a king kicker.
Quite happily stab away 5-handed.
Okay, so I think Mark has the most fun hand here for sure. We can see he has the highest percentage to win.
The other one he can call off if they raise. Definitely knock out some
41%.
by betting. Diamond draws, of course. Any other diamond draws, of course, will hang around. Still cold deck someone. Should a diamond roll off. It's got a very small 1/3 pot. I'd like to say a little bit larger. On this kind of board. Knock out a hand like
So Mark is going to bet, fold. Tomasz probably going to fold here as well with the bottom pair. I mean, he's got to think that Mark bet into 5 people. Action now on Philip Gruesome, who I think probably has the best argument for calling here because he does have, in his mind, straight outs that could give him the best hand by a lot. So, action on him, he is going to call for 500,000. Going to the turn, which is a 4 of clubs. Philip has not hit.
So having gone small on the flop, Mark can definitely size up here. Phil's going to
Got a little bit of a stare down here. A little bit of a Philip Gruesome stare down.
Jack 10. Sounds like King 10, King Jack even. Here we go. I like it. Didn't like the flop size, but much bigger fan of his turn sizing. 2.2 million. Phil just going to give this up. So he denies Phil a chance not just to hit, but also to bluff him. Should the river come a brick.
And Philip's going to give it up in the turn, which is good fold. Mark, good bet as well with the ace high, though, to continue to put pressure on there. And chips up to 17 million. There you go. How many left? 92 remaining in the field. Exclamation mark payouts if you want to see them in the chat. But everyone is guaranteed right now $30,000 US dollars. 30K USD, man.
Currently, I'm just giving them away. I can't beat this guy in a pot.
Just check behind though. Oh no, I bet.
You bet both times. I just folded both times.
Are you going to play soon? I'm going to play in about 2.5 hours from now. Hackle and Barry 1G. We're going to be playing the $11 Twitch Open tonight, and then the normal high-stakes stuff, 320 Gladiator. Maybe a 530 knockout if one looks okay. 55 phase into the 530 for tomorrow, etc. So, big rugby game in Edinburgh next week, Jamie. Scotland versus England. Yeah, Jim Ladd. Rebecca was looking for tickets and stuff. I think she's been watching the rugby this week. Weird question. Where did you get your sweater from? I actually don't know where I got this from. I think Rebecca bought it for me.
Deuces.
It might have been like I don't know. I don't know where she got it, man.
Alright, let's see if he wants
It's alright, that was comfy.
Take mark on. King 3 of diamonds on the button.
What was the buy-in? It was $10,300, Rob. It's in the title, man. It's in the title. Mark's going to raise it up at the cutoff with the twos. Sergi's going to call for $500,000.
2 players behind him. Scott and Alex.
And now Alex Foxen in the big blinds. #1 ranked tournament player in the world. The call as well. So we're going to the flop 3 ways. 1.8 million in the middle. No one has amazing hands. The flop is 5-5-7. All right, so we can see Mark has the best hand for now with the 2s and 5s. We can see he only has 51% to win the hand, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think all 3 are going to go to showdown. So the question is, though, does Alex Foxen elect to represent this board? Because who's most likely to have a 5, right? You have to ask yourself that.
5.
Someone that raised in the cutoff with 3 players behind, someone that called on the button, or someone that called in the big blind. Well, the big blind's going to have 5-4. They're going to have 5-3 suited. They're going to have 5-6. They're going to have 5-7. So I think it's a spot where you can represent the 5, but doesn't do it. Mark just bets and takes it. It's easy for us to say when we can see the pair of 2s, right? Like, oh, this would be a good time. He doesn't have it, but it's something you could consider if you're in Alex Foxen's spot.